I will not tell you what to do in this case or any other case. This decision is strictly on you. Now, I just got done watching a documentary about this Latoya Amos in Gary, Indiana, and she lived in a home that was possessed. Right. Now, the documentary was a documentary by the guy who was what do you call them, a paranormal investigator. After she moved out, he bought the house so he could investigate. Upon investigation, they showed a video footage of this black entity coming out of the wall and going through another wall. Peep game. This guy by the name of Zachary, he said that this whole movie is cursed. He said, this house is too dangerous to even stand. So he had the house demolished. Good decision. Now, the movie by Lee Daniels, when Lee Daniels was making this movie, this is what's really scary about this here. I want you to really think about this. Lee Daniels filmed the movie in Pittsburgh in 2022. He said that he had to hire a priest to do an exorcism every day. He said because the people, the actors that he hired, Monique and the rest of them, he said they started acting strange. And then he said, well, that makes sense. Okay, let's continue. He said they started acting strange. And then he mentioned that the staff started acting strange as well. So they had to hire a priest. Now, I did not watch the movie. I was on the computer working on some designs, and my wife was watching the movie, so I was listening to it. And to me, I thought it was just another Hollywood movie. So I didn't think it was real. I didn't think anything of it. I've been on this planet for almost 60 years. I don't seen just about everything you can see on television, including UFOs. But this movie right here, when they said that they took the little boy to the hospital, matter of fact, they came and seized the children because they thought she was abusing the kids. They took the little boy to the hospital. Inside the hospital, the little boy did a back bend. He walked up the wall, and then he did a flip on the ceiling over the head of the doctor. How do you do a flip on the ceiling? They ran out. They ran the hell up out of there. Now, on another occasion, the daughter, she went into the room when they were at home. The daughter totally levitated. While she was laying down in the bed. Now, here's how the church helped. And you gotta love the church. She went to different churches. I guarantee you she went to churches that look like, us. And they said she was crazy. They thought she was just making up a story trying to get some attention so she could pay rent. So they didn't deal with it. So eventually, they had to have a Catholic priest come. And he started putting in the work. And he was like, yes, this place is possessed. But hold on. Now, it was the doggone social workers because the children started getting bruises. And it started looking like she was abusing those kids, you know what I'm saying? Because they had to have people coming out, the schools was getting on them. They had to take the kids and all this. The social worker came to the house one day. And then she witnessed something too. Let me tell y'all something about spirits. Spirits have a capability of bonding to the place where their most traumatic trauma appeared at last. That house was tainted because I guarantee you, they said a lot of activities was going on in that basement. And she said that she would see these shadow beings, but some of them were like dogs. Now, this could be one of two things. Now, either it could be hellhounds, which is a real thing, and you do not want to encounter that. And hellhounds are sometimes as big as cars. They're big, and they exist on other dimensions. And the other day when I was talking about going into other dimensions, if you slip into another dimension, they have those big old dogs. And when they see you, they're going to come after you. But I digress. Now, either someone was in that building torturing animals and torturing people, creating a bunch of trauma in that house, because she said that it was a tall man, shadow being of a man, and he had on galoshes boots. And when he walked through the kitchen, she said she went and checked the kitchen, and the floor was wet. So this was a powerful entity, and this was the entity that was still stuck in that home. I guarantee you had the person who was doing the torturing in there. That's probably who that was. And then you have those animals and other people who he had traumatized in that house in that doggone basement. Because like I was getting ready to say, a lot of activities was coming out of that basement. They would lock the basement door, and then something would hit the door real hard. Boom! Like it was trying to get up out of there. Now, I want you to think about this here. Lee Daniels said himself that the movie was cursed. The guy Zachary, to the paranormal investigator, said that this clip of this movie that I made here is cursed, talking about the clip that he made or the documentary. Lee Daniels he made that movie in Pittsburgh. He didn't make the movie in the house where that occurred. But nevertheless, those people became infected with that spirit a little bit. Now, this could be one or two things as well. Now, either they played the role and they had the exact names of those people and they was acting that out, and then that they acted out as it was like a familiar spirit, and then that entity was like, oh, this is familiar to me. This is y'all playing this here. I can't wait to get in this here, and it jumped in. That's one. And that's number two is the whole situation of all of that, just calling out the names, probably called all of them doggone spirits. Because see, when you're an actor, you do things to pull in certain spirits so you can play certain characters. I just started thinking about that. But if he called the name in the movie, he called upon that spirit. Now, like I said, I am not going to tell you what to do, but I know what I am going to do. When it comes to watching that movie,